two family, chemist, a kid, second family. And I came from Florida and never thought I would stay. And the only thing that kept me there was the soccer.
Good play, Alfredo.
Jeff, Pete, Ernie, Val, some of the guys that, were talking with 35 years. And some of the younger guys, Peter, Neil, Tommy.
I love you, Eunice.
Hey, hold on, you can't say give me some right Hold on, Santa was just born as well.
Some of the younger guys allowed us to play a little longer than we should have. But truly, it's been a great experience and great friendship. The only thing that ever counted was the friendship that we required building there. And the team is Alfredo, Dirty Dozen.
Alfredo Moran's Dirty Dozen. And you know what we were going to say? Eunice was going to say, Alfredo's a very humble man. But then the team's called Alfredo Moran's Dirty Dozen. So we couldn't even say that.
I did not design the Alfredo
Yes, he
Moran
did.
stuff.
And I had to get a guy that's bigger than me to be standing in front of him.
Bigger than you. Twice the size, Eunice.
I was the tester for sure.
That's great.
It's better fit.
That's great. Well, I tell you, this shirt, actually, today I called Eunice to ask him for a picture. The last time we got together, he actually wore it, and right behind you, that's the only one that was in existence, I think, until now. And that's Eunice's, who showed up with all these different shirts.
Well, Eunice
by
is the only
way.
one who can still wear his original shirt.
And they all have number 12 on the back.
But, by the way, yeah, I've known him for 35 years, and that's the most words I've ever heard from him.
I know. He wrote it down and he read it twice.
I had it written down, but I lost it.
Hey, just to add to what Eunice just said, first of all, thank you. But truly, the Dirty Dozen was, I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't know I was going to be called up on here. It's been so many years, it's family to me. I mean, it's been, when I think back to the amount of years, and not only that, how it got started. When I look back, there are a few guys that I got to point out just because of age. I started coaching. I mean, look how far back this thing goes. Some of the guys that ended up playing for the Dirty Dozen here, I look back, I started coaching at Newport Harbor High School. We opened up the program in early 70s, and I had guys that went on to play with us from the early 70s that were already there. John, Jeff Bembo, Brian Haney, which I haven't seen him. I seen his wife. There he is. I kept seeing Diane, but I couldn't find her. But John and Jeff Bembo, Brian Haney, Doug Patton. These are guys that were playing I met them as freshmen and sophomores in high school. That was over 40 years ago. Yeah, that's over 40 years ago. At the same time, Mouth over here, I met, because he was playing. Well, when he wasn't kicked off the team, he was playing for our arch rivals at Edison High School.
That's not on my resume.
But also, so we're talking those 5 guys that went on to play with us and stuff. It's been over 40 years. Then what? Speed soccer got started in 1980, and in 1980, all of a sudden, guys that played the guys that we just talked about. Plus now we added guys that were Costa Mesa Cowboys, the team that I was with. We had guys, well, Neville Graff, who's here, Juan Carlos Cardenas. I'm trying to think of guys that we added at that time that were, help me out if you're here, guys from Speed Soccer. Neil Gibson played, but this was with Costa Mesa, Don Duran, I mean, we're talking, those are Fabio Zambrano, but then guys that were playing at the same time, but for other teams, like for Newport and for Huntington Beach, which, by the way, there is one I have to be careful so that there's one non-Dirty Dozen person here. And unfortunately, way back in speed soccer days, he was coaching a team called Huntington Beach, and we didn't hit it off real well. But the first year, I think that they upset it, and then they lost it the next 4. Is that what it was? But once we got past soccer, he's really a pretty good guy. He had all these problems going. He was English. He was coaching our arch rival team. But Steve McKay is over here from Asia. But back in those days, so in speed soccer, when you think about it, we had Ernie Figueroa, Val Fernandez, Mike Fox, Scooby, that's Gerard, by the way. But all these guys, Paul Stolwitz, all these guys were playing on other teams. So we all met I met you guys like back in the early 80s. And then as we kept going then the Dirty Dozen got, in fact at the Speed Soccer Lounge upstairs, I think we were having one too many beers, and we decided to make a team, and we decided that, what do we call it? And I think Dirty Dozen, which is kind of a funny name considering we started most of our games with 9 players on the field.
Dirty 9 doesn't sound so good.
But then when I look back and I see over the years guys that joined us for either long periods of times or short times, we had a lot of players that came in and played from all ages and stuff, and guys that were with us for years, and they were the backbone of the team. And then young guys, really the young guys that, that really, it was not easy to come in and bring these young guys that were about 20 years younger than all the old guys. But there were a few that stood out. PJ was one, Strauss, Brad Wilson, who else was there? But there were a few young guys that, very few younger guys that were with us forever. But in any case, it's been since, I met some of you guys in the early 70s, then a group in the 80s, a group in 85, and ever since. So it's amazing that we're all here. And there are still a few guys coming, but it's fun. I've seen faces. I saw this guy with the and Neil Gibson, and then Doug Neely walked in. That's going, that guy never played for us, and he just, it's incredible to see. I see John Bovedas just arrived over there, so another one from the past. So anyway, it's great to see you guys over here, and in a couple of minutes we'll get together. They have tacos going. We have more food that we can consume, so please, they're going to be here for the next 2-3 hours, so just please keep on going and serve yourself. Sit at the table, do whatever you want to. We want to go ahead and I want to catch up with something.
All right, so this is the first stage, so that's the one that you wear. This should be the right size. You just pick the size, that's all I'm going to say. But we've got another shirt that we're bringing up that we're going to have out here.
He did good. He did good, Eunice.
It's like a movie, I don't know. But anyway, this is the first stage. We've got another shirt that we're going to get. We're bringing out here. We're going to put out here so everybody can sign, and then we're going to get it framed later on.
Oh, that's great. That's it.
Thank you very much.
I'll tell you what. In a little while, once we get a bite to eat and stuff, I actually have like about maybe 5-6 minutes worth. It's not much. But there was a handful of guys that could not make it, and they actually sent a little video clip just saying hello. Unfortunately for the email to come through, it had to be less than a minute to be able to get email. So it's very short and sweet, but we have about 5-6 guys that wanted to just say hello. So we'll do that after a little while. I want to show it up. But hey, if we were discussing that some of you guys I mean, we have such a range. A lot of you guys have not played with each other. A couple of you guys, BJ included, were barely born when we started playing. So
It's hard to tell now.
there are a few guys there that, you know, now we're having players show up with grandchildren, so that, but anyway, introduce yourself to each other, because there are a lot of people here that you probably have a lot in common, but just, except for age. But, you know, it's fun. I want to say hello to a couple of people I just see that arrived and I haven't seen for 25 years. So.
Right up,
Anyway.
yes.